Hi guys, it's Shaftman from Shaftman TV, and today we're going to look at Warren Buffett's top 5 quotes. Okay, so he's got loads of quotes, the Oracle of Omaha, he's the most successful investor of all time, but these are 5 quotes that I've picked which I really like. So quote number 1, price is something you pay, but value is something you get. Now what Buffett's getting at here is that when you pay for something, if the price is say $100 a share, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's worth $100 a share. What Buffett wants you to do is make an independent analysis of the assets of the company or the property or whatever, and also a discounted future cash flows from the actual asset, and make an independent valuation about what the asset is worth. So what he's trying to point you in the direction of is that when you pay $100 for something, it doesn't mean it's worth $100. It may be worth more, which is great, or it may be worth considerably less. But because something is on the market for a certain price, doesn't mean it's worth that. Okay, so what we want to do is squeeze out as much value as possible from assets, and this is where Buffett's directing you to. Second quote: be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful. Now he's telling you that in a bear market, don't be too pessimistic, and in a bull market, don't be too optimistic. And technically speaking, he's making a nod to the fact that if you follow the herd, you're not going to do very well. You have to have an independent view of stocks, property, business, and you have to make independent analysis of those assets. And generally speaking, that can often be not with the crowd, so not with the momentum of a certain stock. Okay, so he's telling you to think independently, and he's telling you to, when the crowd, when the mass of people say that something's definitely going to happen, he's telling you to beware. And when they're telling you that it's the end of history, this is the end of history, this asset is over, that's potentially a time when there's good value and is a very good time to invest. So when the stock market goes down, if you're a net buyer of stocks and you're a long-term holder of stocks, it's in your interest for those stocks to go down, and it's in your interest to buy stocks when they're down. Okay, number 3, and this is brilliant: risk comes from not knowing what you're doing. And this feeds into his point about the circle of competence. Okay, don't do things that you don't know anything about. Okay, don't buy stocks into companies that you know nothing about, that you don't know what their debt position is, that you have no idea about the management, about the business, about the competition. Stick to what you know, and inside of your circle of competence, you will see many, many, many opportunities. But the risk in business, comes from when you don't know what you're doing. Very straightforward principle, but a very, very important principle to remember. Don't start businesses and buy things that you have nothing, you know nothing about, and you have no advantage with. Okay, so number 4 is only when the tide goes out do you discover who's been swimming naked. So it's only when the tide goes out do you discover who's been swimming naked. And what Buffett's getting at here is that leverage and debt and mismanagement, it can continue for quite a while, but then a moment of reckoning is always going to come, and always going to expose companies that are badly run or companies that are well run. And there's always going to be a moment of reckoning, so be very careful about what you put your money into. Okay, because if it's an over leveraged company or a bad business, you can have a bad business for 5 years, but there's going to be a moment of reckoning. So only when the tide goes out will you know who's been swimming naked. Will it be exposed? Okay, but that moment of reckoning will come, and Buffett's trying to make you aware of that. So the final and 5th quote is: Wall Street is the only place where people ride in Rolls Royces to take advice from people who get the subway. And I love this. I think it's fantastic. So what he's saying is that your reverence for experts and analysts and pension experts and bond experts is misplaced slightly, because what Buffett's trying to say to you is that the proof is in the pudding. Okay, if somebody is such an expert in gold or bonds or equities or whatever, why are they not a billionaire? Why are they not a millionaire? Okay, you've got all these analysts and all these experts who proclaim to know this and know that and have insight and inside information or whatever, but it's rubbish. Okay, use your own analysis, use the facts that are in front of you, and don't take advice off these people that allegedly know everything. Because if they knew everything and knew where the price of gold was going to go and the price of oil and what the Federal Reserve are going to do next quarter, they would be a billionaire. If you know where interest rates are going in the next 5 years, you could literally become a billionaire. So why would you take advice from these people that are working as analysts and, as Buffett says, are getting the subway to work because they don't have the money, to buy a Rolls Royce? So I think that is my favourite one, my personal favourite one. So I hope those quotes have been useful. If you can subscribe to Shaftman TV, I'd be delighted. And any comments, more than welcome. And I wish you a fantastic day. Thank you very much, everybody.